I'd now like to introduce Carla Hills, who probably needs no introduction. Carla's been a friend of CED's for a very long period of time. Carla is the chair and CEO of Hills & Company, which is an international consulting firm. Carla was a member of two cabinets, the President George H.W. Bush's cabinet as United States Trade Representative and Gerald Ford's Secretary of the Department of Housing and Urban Development. She serves on the International Advisory Board of J.P. Morgan. It's a member of the Board of Directors of Gilead Sciences. She's been on many, many not-for-profit boards, including the Council for Foreign Relations and the Peterson Institute. She's served in the past on the Chevron board. And Carla was recognized by CED in 2004 for the Excellence in Public Policy Award for her commitment to advocating and developing sound economic policies in the nation's interest. With that, Carla Hills.
Well, good evening. I hope you've all enjoyed your dinner and your dinner conversations as much as I. I am so indebted to CED for giving me this opportunity to say a few words about a great friend for whom I have a great admiration and respect, and who CED has selected to receive its 2014 Corporate Citizenship Award. This award is presented annually to a company that integrates well-being of society into its guiding principles and whose leader demonstrates an exceptional commitment to implementing those principles. This year's recipient is John Watson, Chairman of the Board and Chief Executive Officer of the Chevron Corporation, one of the world's leading energy companies and the third largest company on Fortune 500's list. Headquartered in California, Chevron has oil, gas, and geothermal energy interests in more than 160 countries. John joined Chevron in 1980, and since 2010 has served as its CEO. Under his experienced leadership, this enormous and diverse enterprise has achieved remarkable returns for its shareholders. But that is just half the story. Under John's stewardship, Chevron partners with governments, nonprofit entities, small businesses, investing time and treasure to advance the environmental, educational, and economic interests of the communities in which it operates. For example, with respect to the Gorgon development, one of the world's largest and most complex liquefied gas projects, which is taking place in and around the Barrow Island, a Class A nature reserve just off the coast of Australia, Chevron has worked with one of Australia's preeminent environmentalists to ensure that the Gorgon project does not adversely affect the environmental integrity of the Barrow Island. It is also engaged extensively with the Australian Aborigine communities to make certain that the development does not harm heritage sites. In Indonesia, where 8 million people are served by Chevron's geothermal power operations, Chevron has partnered with farmers to improve their agricultural production and to restore forests that have been demolished. Under Chevron's Green Corridor initiative, more than 30,000 trees have been planted with a 5-year goal of planting 250,000. And in Nigeria and Angola, Chevron has worked closely with those governments and the private sector to strengthen their health systems. Close to home in Richmond, California, where poverty is relatively high and so is unemployment, Chevron has partnered with the county and donated millions of dollars to advance education and job training programs, and similar actions are being taken in Colombia, Sumatra, South Africa, and many other places where Chevron is building enduring partnerships for a better future. John Watson has earned applause globally for giving real substance to Chevron's core belief that in the long run, the company's prosperity is hinged to the well-being of the community in which it operates. John, we salute you and thank you for all you have done and all you continue to do, and it is an honor to recognize your exceptional commitment to social well-being with the CED 2014 Corporate Citizenship Award.
Carla, I'd like to thank you for those excessively kind personal comments. I'll gratefully accept the comments you made about our company. The only thing harder than following the other recipients this evening, and I know some of them personally and know their accomplishments and have read about the others, but the only thing harder than following those recipients is following you, who, Carla, of course, has made contributions to Chevron for more than 20 years, but numerous other organizations. So, Carla, thank you very much. I'll make my comments fairly brief this evening. I would like to thank CED for the policy and research work that they do. Steve, I certainly appreciate the recognition that Chevron is receiving this evening. And I thought I would just offer a few thoughts for you. Chevron was founded in 1879. So we're a 135-year-old company. And it's interesting, during that time, the greatest advancements in living standards in recorded history have taken place during the modern hydrocarbon era. I am a passionate defender of our industry and what we do to bring light, heat, mobility, modern communications, mechanized agriculture, all the things that have been enabled to improve the standards of living around the world. And so I am a passionate defender of our business. And we are a business that deals in decades for our projects. We have oil fields and natural gas fields that are 40, 50, 75 years old. We were founded in California. We have one of the oil fields that's almost 100 years old now, and we're still developing that field. So we work in decades and time horizons that are decades. And there's one thing that that we have learned over the years is that if you are going to operate in a community for 100 years, you better listen to that community, and you better do good work for that community over that entire period of time. I would like to tell you that the work that Carla referenced, we donate about $300 million a year, well beyond the taxes and investments that we make. We donate about $300 million a year, and it's primarily in health, education, and economic development. And the lesson that we've learned over the years is the first thing you need to do is to listen to the community where you do your work. And I'll give you one example of that. My first visit to the Niger Delta in Nigeria, I was flying in a small plane, and I flew over a fire. And so I asked one of the people I was traveling with, what's that fire down there? And it was a health clinic that we had built that was being burned. And I said, well, why is a health clinic being burned? And it was because we had built a clinic on one side of the river for one tribe and hadn't built one on the other side of the river. So we hadn't done our homework about what was needed in the community and local politics, if you will, in the community. So we have learned our lesson over the years that you have to listen and listen intently to those that are in the community. The other lesson that we have learned over the years is that we have to partner with organizations. So we listen to the local community, but particularly in underdeveloped countries, we've learned that we also have to bring in partners, typically NGOs, organizations like USAID, And I'm very proud of the work that we've done in partnership, particularly in countries in West Africa. One brief comment I'll make about infectious diseases. We have an Ebola outbreak, of course, in West Africa. We were actually sending doctors into Liberia before that outbreak. We don't produce oil and gas in Liberia, but I promised President Sirleaf when we took on exploration activity that we would do work in the community regardless of what we found. I don't know if we'll find oil or gas, but I do know that their needs are desperate. And the same thing goes when we had the only untainted blood supply in Angola following the civil war there. So the community's needs when it comes to infectious diseases, when it comes to the environment, are tremendous. And we work very hard to try to do the right things in these communities so that we not only can bring the energy that we and they need, but that we can do the right things in West Africa, Kazakhstan, and other nations around the world. I thank you very much for the recognition for my company. We're proud of the work that we do, and as you can tell, I'm quite passionate about the work that we do as well. So thank you very much. You've been very patient with my remarks this evening. Thank you.